Hello everybody and welcome to this short kind of summary of my trip to Alton Towers. So this video should be uploading on the Friday, so I went yesterday on the Thursday, 5th of July 2018. So I'm basically going to explain what we did, and then I'm going to show a few shots from around the rides that I got. I did go on about uploading off-ride POVs in the video what to expect on this channel in the next few months, but I think that because I'm going to be visiting Alton Towers again, and I'll hopefully get even more footage, so I think what I'll do is I'll upload the off-ride POVs of some of the rides then. So we actually did quite well at Alton Towers yesterday. We got on most things. We got some re-rides as well, especially on Wickerman, which I'll go into in a minute. There's a few smaller things we didn't do, but I'm going on a return visit to Alton Towers, so I'll go and do those things then. They're not rides that I've never done before, so it wasn't that big a deal, because yesterday a lot of the rides I did was rides I'd never done before, because, well, especially the roller coasters, because I've not been to Alton Towers for about probably 2 years now, something like that. And as you know, if you've watched a lot of my videos, I used to not really like rides. It's only kind of recently that I got into rides, so there's quite a few roller coasters at Alton Towers I hadn't done until this last visit. Anyway, let me get into what we did. So first of all, we went to the Wickerman, which I'm not going to talk too much about in this video, because I'm going to have a separate review of the Wickerman, going into it in more detail like I did with my Icon review, as there is quite a bit to talk about with the Wickerman. But yeah, we rode the Wickerman, and all I'll say is that I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad I did go in there with an open mind, like I said I would, because it was really good. We had 3 rides on it in total. It didn't break down in the day, which was good, because that ride's renowned for having breakdowns. It's not been the most reliable in its first few months of operation, but yesterday it was running great. Anyway, after that we headed up to Forbidden Valley to go and do Galactica, which I had been on before. I'd done Galactica a couple of years ago when I first went after it opened, and I also went on Nemesis for the first time, which was a really good ride. The queue line was especially good as it went right underneath the roller coaster. Then you went into like the Nemesis creature itself, as the ride is themed around this creature, which was like the station, and the ride was very good. It was intense, not as intense as Dragon Challenge, or at least the red side of Dragon Challenge, the Chinese Fireball, which I'd done at Universal when I went last year. I never got to do the Hungarian Horntail, the blue one, but yeah, it was not as intense as the red Chinese Fireball side on that, as those are the only two B&M inverted roller coasters I've done as they are the same type of ride, B&M inverted roller coasters. But yeah, Nemesis wasn't quite as intense, but it was still an intense ride. I was sat quite near the front though, which meant they'd been less intense, as the back on that ride is renowned for being much more intense than the front. As with Wickerman, actually, I don't believe Galactica actually matters, but anyway, let me continue. So after that we headed up to the Dark Forest. We did 13, which I've done before, which is a family roller coaster, and that's the important thing to note out with that one. 13 is a family roller coaster and not a thrill roller coaster. If you go on it expecting it to be a thrill ride, then you'll come off disappointed. It's as simple as that. But it's a great family roller coaster. I won't spoil what happens inside if you've never been on it before, but well, obviously I knew about it because I've been on it before, and I actually did know before I'd even been on it. But yeah, the outside roller coaster's great as well. Before you get to that section, as there is an outside roller coaster before the indoor section. But anyway, after that we went on Rita, which I must say I've never been on it before, but it was quite disappointing, to be honest. So yeah, the launch was great as expected. It's definitely the most thrilling launch I've done, considering I've done Rock and Roller Coaster and Icon and Velocity. They're the launch roller coasters I've done. But yeah, Rita's launch was great, very forceful, very snappy from the start, because that's kind of the opposite to Icon. Like I've explained with Rita before, Rita is an Intamin launch roller coaster that uses the hydraulic launch, which means the launch is quite snappy, so the initial acceleration is kind of very sudden, and then the acceleration kind of anyway, it was a bit rough, to be honest. It was just the train was rattling from side to side. Oh yeah, and yeah, sorry, I just thought Audacity crashed on me when I'm recording this audio. Let me finish explaining Icon. So the initial acceleration on those types of rides is quite gradual, but then it kind of speeds up later on, so to the end you're feeling a bit of force, but at the start you're not feeling much. Whereas on Rita and other Intamin launch roller coasters, it's the opposite. Anyway, so the rest of the ride, there's not much really after that launch. It's a really short ride. It basically goes around like a figure of 8 with some turns and a couple of airtime hills, and that's about it. But the train, I've heard that the red train on that is quite rough. There's 2 trains on Rita. There's a red train and a purple train, and the red train's meant to be quite rough. And because of our luck, which isn't great, we got on the red train, which was kind of rattling around the corners. It wasn't unbearably rough, but yeah, it was a bit rough. So much so that Wickerman, which is a wooden roller coaster, which you think would be rougher, was actually a lot smoother than it. So yeah, luckily the B&Ms though, Galactica and Nemesis, was smooth. Anyway, after that we went on Spinball Wizard, which is a spinning roller coaster, which was fun. That's the most crazy ride I've had on it, and you'll know that if you've seen my Twitter. I'm not sure what was happening, but the car was spinning like mad on that. I'm guessing it's due to the weight distribution. There must have been more weight on one side than the other, but yeah, it was spinning like crazy. Like, it even made me a bit dizzy after that. And I don't get dizzy on those spinning roller coasters very easily, but yeah, literally there was 1 minute where we literally got flung into the side because it like changed direction spinning. But yeah, and anyway, by the way, when I'm going through these rides, I'm not mentioning any re-rides on Wickerman, which we did have in between going on Nemesis and 13. We had a re-ride on Wickerman at the back, and I must say that at the back, Wickerman is absolutely crazy. It's much faster, and it's faster in any place. So yeah, if you go on Wickerman, try and get the back. You don't really get to choose, but just hope for the best that you get on the back of that, because it's absolutely crazy. Anyways, we then went and did the Congo River Rapids, where we had a bit of a mad ride on that as well. We got plenty of splashes on it. Not the wettest I've ever been on it, but we did get some splashes. It was running quite quick. It seems to vary in speed. Sometimes you get quite a fast run on it, sometimes it's a bit slower, but we got quite a fast one, so we got a lot of the waves. Runaway Mine Train was also good. Didn't get any shots from those, but yeah, it was fun to ride on that. And then that was pretty much it. We had a re-ride on Galactica, and then that was pretty much the time up. So yeah, like I said, oh, I forgot to mention we did do Jewel, which was good. The refurbishments, it does seem a bit better, this Jewel. It's been refurbished. If you don't know what Jewel is, it's basically a shooting haunted house ride. Like a bit like Buzz Lightyear at the Disney parks. You basically shoot stuff, like in the name. So anyway, after that we went on Galactica again as our final ride. And yeah, so, and then after that we bought some merchandise which I'll show you now. So I got a Wickerman t-shirt, which you'll be able to see now, and I also got a Wickerman pin badge as Wickerman. I'm proud to announce this is my favourite ride at Alton Towers, and I think that just proves inversions don't make a better roller coaster, because Wickerman was definitely the most crazy ride I did there, even more crazy than Nemesis and Spinball Whizzer. So yeah, Wickerman was great, plenty of airtime, especially on the back of it when we got near the back. Well, we weren't on the very back, I think we were one seat from the back. I'd like to do it on the very back at some point if I get the chance. Maybe next time we go, but yeah, Wickerman definitely my favourite ride at Alton Towers. So stay tuned now for a Wickerman review. Stay tuned for a video I'm going to do on what order to do the rides at Alton Towers. That's pretty much the right order there. And stay tuned for a top 10 when that does come online, hopefully after the next visit, because unfortunately not Wickerman, sorry, Oblivion, which I wanted to go on, was broken down all day, so I didn't get to do that. And the Smile is just not my kind of ride. It's just rough, it's just too many inversions. Inversions don't make a better coaster. I just think the Smiler would pretty much just ruin the day, because it would probably just make me quite sick. So it's not my kind of ride as the Smiler, so that's why I've not done it yet. I promise I will do it someday. I don't know when. I will give it a go someday to say I got the credit, but yeah, I didn't go on it yesterday because I didn't think there was much point going down to that area in X sector with Oblivion being broken down. And Enterprise, well, I don't like flat rides. Anyway, thank you for watching. So now you're going to see some shots from around Alton Towers. I'm going to do some commentary over them to basically explain to you guys some more kind of elements within the rides, more specifically than I have done. So you're going to be seeing shots from Wickerman, Galactica, Nemesis, Rita, not 13 unfortunately, because you can't see any of that ride, Spinball Whizzer, and yeah, that's it, because I didn't get any of the other 3 rides we did. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, so here we have Wickerman. You can see there, I was just focusing on the Wickerman there. There you got the lift hill. You'll see it has a bit of a curve there, because actually the brake runs right underneath it, so they had to make it like steeper there, and then you can see it like turns slightly, and then because of the station there, they had to make it like that. And you can see the scream tunnel at the, I think they're called, at the top of the lift hill on the first drop, and that's because this ride's actually on the border of the park, so nearby residents, it would be too noisy if that wasn't there, because that like traps the noise. So as you can see there with the tunnel, so yeah, you go down that, a small first drop through that tunnel, then there's a bigger one, and then you'll be able to see the train coming around these corners. It's a compact ride, you can see it's built in a pit, and you're going to see it interact with the Wickerman structure just there. And yeah, you can see all the sort of mist and smoke effects. There it is going past there. And yeah, so now we've headed over to Galactica. You can see another ride built in a pit. It's actually the tallest ride at Alton Towers, I believe. And you can see it's quite a slow ride, but it's very enjoyable and unique. Now, not all people like these types of roller coasters, but personally I do. You can see a portal there just after the first drop that you go through before you lie on your back, because obviously this is a flying coaster, so you start off on your front, then you're flipped onto your back. And yeah, now you can see we go underneath paths and stuff like that. Okay, now we've headed over to Nemesis, and you'll be able to see there's the first drop, which again goes into the corkscrew, then that goes into like that vertically banked helix there, which is the most thrilling part of the ride. That's the most intense element. So you'll be able to see us coming through the corkscrew anytime soon. Quite a small corkscrew, but still. It kind of drops down kind of gradually. You got the first drop there, and then it kind of does the downwards 90-degree helix there, which we are going into now. So then just kind of down the bottom there is the most thrilling bit when you're going quite fast kind of round it. You can see some more elements here, some turns. We've got the loop and the 0G roll, and also got a barrel roll. You can see that creature there down there. That's actually the station for the ride that you go into. Like that kind of orange coloured creature. There we go through one of the final turns. Now in Dark Forest. Here's Rita. Like I said, I didn't get any footage of 13. But here's Rita launching. It's just launched. So yeah, as you can see, it's just like a figure of 8. Then you go back up into the brake run in the top right of your screen. You're just sort of there and back into the station. There's going to be some... There we go, into the brake run right there. And you're now going to see some more footage. This is down the bottom end of Rita, down the bottom of the launch. That's kind of the first curve you go around after the launch, over the airtime hill, and back round this curve any second now. There you go. So literally the ride is only that long. We're now at Spinball Whizzer, which have actually got a lot of footage there, so you can see kind of another compact ride. You're obviously going to see the cars spinning. You can see there's like a vertically banked section up there as well, which is actually not as intense as it looks. Depending on kind of where you sat in the car, you may, and how it's spinning, you may not necessarily notice it or not from on ride. There's no noticeable difference in intensity, but it's very noticeable off ride. You can see just a lot of helixes there. There's me just walking a bit closer to the ride to get some more shots. I've got a lot of shots of this because it's quite compact, so I can show you guys a lot of it. And there's obviously a lot of cars on it because each car only seats 4 people. You can also see another banked turn at the bottom there, which is slightly less steep. There's a view of the lift hill. And because I don't show much footage, I forgot to mention this, we do go to the roller coaster restaurant at the end. Oh, and this, before I mentioned that, this ride that did actually close because somebody dropped something or something. I wasn't very impressed with operations at Alton Towers yesterday, they weren't that good. Anyway, back to the roller coaster restaurant, which you'll see in a second. It was okay. Obviously your food gets delivered on a roller coaster, as you see in a second, but it wasn't actually that nice, so I think it's something you try once, then to say that you've done it, but you don't do it again because it's not the nicest. Anyway, that's the end of the footage, so thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.